My name is Bubba Page. I'm a serial entrepreneur, I'm an angel investor, and I founded Influence.vc. This YouTube channel is dedicated to giving you behind the scenes access to real founders conversation with investors like myself, real questions going back and forth so that you can learn whether you're a founder or whether you're an investor. Taking a peek, like and subscribe. Let's rock and roll. Everybody, this is George Simons. He's going to be talking to me about Solosuit. I'm so excited. We got referred by a mutual friend, which is a great way for people to get introduced to investors. Probably the best way is if you have your own relationship, but then getting referred by a trusted relationship is key. So stoked. I want to hear all about Solosuit. Tell me what I need to know and what would be helpful. And maybe even before you do that, give us a little bit of background. How did you get here and why?
Yeah, so I'm George. I'm one of the founders of Solosuit. We help people resolve debt lawsuits. I have personal experience with the problem. In my first year of law school, I bought a car. It turned out to be a lemon. It died 3 days after I bought it. And I tried hiring an attorney to help me resolve the case, but I couldn't find one that would take my case on. I thought, if I'm in a building full of lawyers and I can't find one to hire, who else out there can't find a lawyer to hire? And it turns out it's a big problem. I was lucky enough to solve my own problem and get all my money back, but I found out that a lot of people are sued for debt. It's the biggest category of cases in the US, and most of the time people don't have an attorney to help them win their cases. So we made Solosuit to give them a fighting chance and help them to win their lawsuits.
That's amazing. So you got your personal story tied into this. How long have you been working at it? Where are you based? Have you had experiences in entrepreneurship before?
Yeah, I've been working on this for a little while now. Went full-time in 2020 when I graduated from law school. I graduated amidst the pandemic. The pandemic came in March, and we had a little bit of revenue, but it went to zero that month, pretty much because courts stopped processing new debt lawsuits.
Just stopped.
Just totally stopped. But I figured I really wanted to make this happen, so we went full-time on it anyways. Brought my partner from Amazon. He was working on Amazon Kindle. Brought him on full-time later that year.
Wow, that's crazy. So you came in as an attorney and your partner is more on the technical side?
Yeah, that's right.
He's your technical co-founder?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep, so that's the general idea.
Where are you at again? Where are you located?
Provo, Utah. I graduated from
right. Utah.
Yep, here we are. Yeah, you live around here as well, right?
I do. I'm super close. So you've already raised some capital. Are you open to sharing who you raised from already?
We've raised $895K to date. We've raised from Combinator, Kleiner Perkins, and the Legal Tech Fund.
That's amazing. Good for you. That's huge. I think there's probably less than I can count on my hand how many Kleiner Perkins deals have happened in Utah.
Right. Yeah, not very many. That's for sure.
Congratulations. That's a big deal. And when did you go through Y Combinator?
Winter 2021.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely don't leave that out of the story, right? That's awesome.
Yep,
okay,
sure.
Let's see it.
Okay, cool. So here we are. So we found this time to scale for us. So we're doing $363K a quarter in net revenue. That comes out to $1.4 million in annualized and 84% year-over-year growth. So we found that debt collectors and consumers are disconnected. On the collector side, they're able to collect about $12.7 billion annually. However, 66% of their accounts go uncollected. So they're leaving a ton of money on the table. They aren't trusted by consumers. Because of this, they're forced to file expensive lawsuits to try to collect. And after a while operating in this space, we've found that collectors actually want to settle these debts. That's actually their ideal resolution. On the other side, we have consumers. About 70 million of them are in collections annually. 10 million of those get sued for debt. When they get sued, they only have 21 days to respond. They can't figure out how to respond to these lawsuits. So it quickly becomes the worst financial pain of their entire lives. And we've found that consumers also want to settle. That's also their ideal resolution. So Solosuit has been helping consumers respond. People use our tiered service to respond to debt lawsuit. Take the real life example of Raquel. She sued for $4,700. She finds Solosuit online and uses us to respond to the lawsuit to get that initial pain point solved for her. And we found product market fit on this niche. We have an average order value of $104. Our fully burdened CAC is just $40. Year-over-year growth is 84%. Gross margin 67%, net promoter score 76. So things are going real well here. What we found is that people will say something like this: responding was great, now can you settle the lawsuit for me? So they use us to respond to the lawsuit and they want to use us to settle because they had a good experience. So we've been adding on debt settlement. That's helping us increase our LTV to $997 per person and expanding to a $69 billion market.
So from this one product offering, you're 10xing your lifetime value.
That's right.
Was that in the product roadmap when you started?
No, we didn't realize the opportunity when we got started. We just thought we'd help people resolve these debt lawsuits, and then maybe we'd add on additional documents helping them resolve the case in court. But what we found is that people really want to settle outside of court. They want to pay it off. They want to settle outside of court.
Nice work to find that. That's huge.
So the market on the lawsuit response is about $1 billion. So it's $104 per person times 10 million people that are sued for debt. Lawsuit response plus debt settlement is $69,997 per person times the 70 million people that are in collections generally.
And have you offered this service already, or is it up and coming?
We have some traction on it. Today we've settled about 150 debts, so we're making money.
That's great. So you've been able to figure out some of the kinks of how that works?
For sure.
Is there a certain number? If you did 150, did you attempt 300 and you were able to close 150?
Yeah. We've only settled a portion of the debts that we take on. So most people come to us to respond to the lawsuit. We have about 1,200 paying customers every month to just respond to the lawsuit.
Yeah.
A lot of those people are signing up for settlement. We have to screen most of them out because for some reason we aren't able to settle the debt for them. So one of the reasons that we're raising right now is to capitalize on that opportunity. We're just sitting on like a lot of potential revenue. We just need to build out the product some more to capture it.
And you think with the build out of the product, you'd be able to resolve more, you can settle more debt, but it's because it's a product issue, not a legal issue or something?
Yeah, we've confirmed that we will be able to settle about 95% of the debts that come to us.
Oh my gosh. But right now it maybe is 30% until you have the product built out?
Yeah, it's like 10%.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
It's that big of a difference.
Yeah, that big of a difference. Yep.
And technology can do that.
That's right. Yes.
All right. Let's see it.
Yep. So we're building the debt settlement marketplace to get into this opportunity. So consumers are coming to us to respond to the lawsuit, and then they're signing up to settle. They're on the buy side of the marketplace. Collectors are on the sell side. Consumers are coming to us to save a bunch of money. So they're saving 77% on average when they settle. Solosuit averages $893 per settlement off of a 19% take rate on the upside of the lawsuit from the collector. And then
so that's your $997 price point. They take their fee.
Yes, basically, if someone's sued for $10,000, they use us to settle, we earn $1,900.
Okay.
And it's a fully automated product. So collectors, it's a win for them because they're still earning 10x return because they usually buy these debts for only 4% of face value.
Wow. Collectors buy the debt at 4%. Geez, I just didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's totally crazy. Yep. So we are connecting these two people, right? And we really see both sides as our customers going forward. We're just connecting them and helping them get it settled.
And you said it was fully automated. You don't have any human interaction?
That's right. Yeah, like recently we settled one case for a consumer. They had a $40,000 debt, personal loan, I believe it was Citibank. They settled it for $36,000. So they hacked off a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
They transferred that amount through us. We sent the settlement amount onto the collector. We took our 19% commission, which was $7,000.
It's a good one.
It's a win for the consumer because they're saving money. It's a win for the collector because they're making money. And it's a win for us because we can help a lot of people. So we're seeing early signs of product market fit on this. A couple months ago, it did 9,000 in the month. Most recently, it did 13,000 a month. It's grown about 50% over the last 6 months. Average order value is $893. We're selling it to the same people that we're acquiring for just $40. Fully burdened CAC at just $40. And the gross margin on Solo Settle is 96%.
Who are your competitors? Do you have a slide on that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll wait for it. You keep going.
So we need to build the technology to unlock additional revenue. That's why we're raising right now. We have over 3,000 people a month signing up to use us, indicating that they want to use us to settle. Because of our technology limitations, we're only able to settle a small sliver of those. We've confirmed we can settle 95% of all of them. And if we do, that'll turn into $2.7 million a month in revenue off of people that we already have coming to us.
Without any additional marketing.
Without any additional marketing expense. Solosuit's the best solution to help people resolve debt lawsuits. It's affordable, it's simple, it's online. People can use it to respond to a lawsuit as well as to get the case settled. Some other big players in the space include LegalZoom. They IPO'd for $7.3 billion. I have them on here because people ask about them. They don't actually help you with litigation documents. So you can use them to generate like transactional law documents like contracts, LLC filings. They don't help you with court documents at all. They won't settle for you. Another big player is debt settlement firms. They're about a $17 billion market. Biggest settlement firm is Freedom Debt Relief. They make about $1 billion a year in gross revenue. So some of these players are quite large. And
do they see you as a threat?
Not right now, but in a year or two.
Well,
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're a potential acquirer.
Yeah, potential acquirer. Yeah. We'd like to exceed them in revenue. That'd be our preference. But yes. So you can use them to settle. but you can't actually use them to respond to a lawsuit. So if you're being sued for a debt, they'll actually screen you out. They focus on the 60 million people who are not being sued. So we're starting in like really just a classic disruption kind of position where we're serving the underserved part of the market. Solosuit, big vision as we see it becoming the way people resolve disputes. So phase one is the debt lawsuit response. So we generated the product to help people respond to debt lawsuits. That gives them leverage that's necessary to settle these lawsuits. So once they respond, they can then make an offer to settle. We're in the middle of phase two. We have some of Solosuit developed. Right now, you can just do lump sum settlements. To get more of the debts settled, we need to add on payment plans so that people, instead of paying like $5,000 within a few weeks to settle, they can pay like $100 over 60 months to settle, or something like that. Collectors want us to collect hardship information, so that includes income, expenses, budget info. A lot of collectors require that to settle. That's one of the big reasons that they aren't settling. And that actually gets pretty complicated. It's about 25 pieces of information that we need to figure out how to collect. In phase three, we really see this being a tool for collectors as well. We see collectors as one of our customer segments. We want to make it easy for them to settle by doing things like offering bulk settlements, so they can give pre-approved settlement terms to our consumers that are coming onto the platform. And in phase four, as we grow, we see a flywheel effect occurring where lots of people are coming to us. Collectors are able to settle more cheaply on our platform than anywhere else. So the settlement rate reduces, which brings more people and reduces the rate and increasing our defensibility. We're having an outsized impact for a lean team. Right now, we're just 6 people. I did a JD MBA at BYU, went full-time after graduating. My partner, Scott, did a master's in computer science at Princeton, and he's in the top 5% of Amazon engineers before joining us full-time. We're backed by Combinator, Kleiner Perkins, and the legal tech. We're raising $2 million to help us grow. So planning on allocating about 55% to engineers to help us develop the product, unlock more revenue, 35% to marketing personnel and spend, planning on scaling our SEO channel, as well as investing in ads and affiliate. That's really where we see the influencer aspect coming in. Because we're making so much money on each settlement, we'd like to be offering that as a very competitive deal to influencers.
Yeah.
So we really partner with folks to bring people into our platform.
If you have somebody that's experienced this personally and they can talk about this to their audience, it's going to hit home for anybody who's dealt with this.
Yeah.
So I can see it having a very high close rate, conversion rate. Well, you have to find those who need it, right? And so that narrows the funnel quite a bit. But if anyone has ever been through this, I can only imagine that they're going to feel the pain.
And the people that we do help, we're really like saving them from the worst financial pain of their life. People are being sued for $10,000 or $40,000 and being sued by one of the largest corporations in the world, usually.
When you've thought about the influencer side, who have you been, not who specifically, but what genre do you think is going to have the most impact from an influencer?
Definitely people that are dealing with financial information. So influencers with the financial background, right? People like giving tips on how to manage their budget, right? To people who are getting into like more of like the legal aspects of finances as well. Yeah, I think it's a big opportunity.
A few of those.
Right, for sure. Yeah, like you guys, right?
Yeah.
For sure. And we don't really do much on social media. We have just focused on SEO to date. So I think there's a really big opportunity there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously showing up in the search results is key when somebody's trying to figure out what the heck to do. Absolutely. But if they can be watching, and what I would suggest is as you get user-generated content from these influencers or influencer-generated content, getting approval to be able to whitelist, basically market those videos on your own ads as well. Taking the user-generated content into your ads moving forward. I think that'll really help with the conversion rate. And then finding the key influencers who this resonates with. And I have no question that those that are in the financial space are going to have an audience that would want to hear about this and learn.
For
I
sure.
wonder though, of like, of let's say my Instagram following, 58,000 people there, what percentage of those 58,000 have dealt with this? Do you have any idea on just a normal general span of people? Is it 100 of that 58,000? Is it 5,000 people who've dealt with this? Like, is there any?
Yeah, it's over 20% of the US population, around 20%. So 70 million people out of 330 million people are in collections at any point in time of the year. So really a pretty significant chunk. There is like a timeliness factor, you are right in that, especially right now on the lawsuit side. We have to get to people within that 21-day window when they've been sued. However, as we scale, after we close this round, we'll be expanding into pre-litigation settlement quickly. And that will allow us to get into just the 70 million people who are in collections. It's a little bit less timely. People can kind of sign up whenever they want if they're in that position.
Okay. Yeah, because I think timing is a big thing. And then, a lot of times people want to talk about reoccurring revenue.
Yep.
And so you have reoccurring revenue, not from an individual customer, but these are each individual customers are coming in and spending X amount with you. They probably, or hopefully don't need you again. They may need you again, but they're not signing up for a subscription, right?
That's right. Yeah, and companies have gone out of business in the past trying to do this on a subscription model. We definitely think like the take rate model is the way to go. And we do think about having recurring revenue from the collectors. So each collector, we're having like a recurring relationship with them.
Okay, got it. So you would look to them as kind of your subscription, essentially. They're your channel partner.
Yep.
Okay. Well, nice work. You built something in an industry that I know almost nothing about. I think, from a financial influencer's perspective, there's no doubt there's people who are struggling with this that need help. And if you can do that to facilitate and help them save money and do it above bar, it's all legal, it's all, done properly. That's incredible. I'm assuming when you raised from Kleiner and YC and the Legal Tech Fund, how long ago was that you raised? What's kind of the time frame of what you're trying to do with this next 2 million?
Yeah, we raised in April 2021. It was the last time we raised. So we've been real capital efficient, been able to grow on that amount that we raised. This time around, we're raising 2 million. We have 985,000 K committed to date from a few smaller VCs and then several angel investors as well. So things are going well there.
Okay, great. So a question to always ask is did you get Kleiner back in? I'm sure everybody talked about that.
We'll do ask that. Yeah, Kleiner's interested in the Series A.
The next round. So this would be considered maybe your Series Seed plus?
Yep, I like the
pre-seed, this is seed.
Yep, I like the word seed plus, yeah.
Okay, that's helpful. And then valuation, where are we standing right now?
The money that we've raised so far is in at a $20 million post-money valuation cap on safes.
All on safes, right? So not a price round just yet.
Yep, we're totally open to like a price round. People just wanted to invest on safes. So.
Okay, and any discount on that safe?
No discounts on safe. So, but again, we're flexible.
That's helpful. With that 995, that's already been collected. That's part of the safe already. And so you're looking for that other million right now, right?
That's right. Yep. Okay. It's various stages of being collected, but yeah, it's all committed.
That's helpful. George, I'm impressed. I mean, you came at an industry that needed help. It sounds like you're helping a lot of people. Obviously, seeing the technology, being able to get a feel for it, what the user experience looks like. Do you have any data or stats on bounce rates, people coming in, starting the application process and bouncing? Do you have any of that?
Yeah, not super top of mind, but the general idea is that like top of funnel is pretty big, and then only a portion are converting at the end. So like we have a few 100,000 people come to the site every month off of SEO, and then I believe it's around 5,000 people make accounts with us every month, and then that turns into about 1,200 paying customers. So really not bad from account to payment. Of those people that make accounts, about 3,000 are starting the settlement, and then just a portion of like a very small amount of them are we able to actually settle right now.
Because of the technology needs that you guys are trying to build out. Okay, so that's a clear funnel. Conversion rate seems quite high from creating accounts to actually going through with it, more than 20%, right? And then obviously getting people from the website to creating accounts, 300-ish thousand to 5,000. There's room for improvement there, right? Are you guys using any A/B testing, on the website to try and help improve that conversion?
Yeah, we take A/B testing real seriously. We use PostHog, which is like another YC analytics company that's been great. That's what we're using for A/B testing. A good portion of this round, what we're planning on using it on the marketing spend side, is to establish our growth team. We really want to get a solid data scientist in here and then a few more senior engineers to allow us to really run a lot more A/B tests across the site.
And then from an affiliate standpoint, have you thought about what you're looking at compensating these people? I know for sure those affiliates would love to have a higher converting website because they're going to be sending eyeballs and eyeballs. So anything you can do to convert their eyeballs that come, they'll appreciate that. But what are you thinking about compensation wise?
Yeah, honestly, I'd love your take as far as what you think a good deal would be.
So some pro tips on working with influencers. Base rate, you're looking at a 10% discount, 10% commission. That's kind of just the absolute base affiliate situation. Of course, the higher you go on both of those elements, the higher conversions you're going to get from both ends. If the influencer is able to do 15-15 or 20-20, and you can test and see, okay, influencer will pay you 20% commission, affiliate commission, and you can give your consumer audience member a 30% discount, right? Now you've got a 50% basic, you've got to be able to have the price point in your product to afford and keep the margins where you need. But things like that can obviously see heightened experience. Now, you could also do something like if you're targeting the settlement aspect of life where they're coming in at $800 plus, dollars, and the first segment was, what was it again? It was like $100, right? Just the concept is, maybe you give them half off this first piece, right, as the discount that they're giving people, and then you can pay out on the settlement side as well. So that way you're able to keep margin, but maybe you don't give the discount on the settlement piece, just depending on how many people come in at that $100 price point that do convert into settlement side, and maybe look at that. But that could be a way to get people in the door. Or you don't give any discount on the first piece and you say the discount is on the settlement piece, and maybe it's a larger number. So instead of saving $50 over here, you're saving $100 over here. And then you would just have to play with that and see where can you keep your margins. But you'll also want to A/B test it, because I don't know what the consumer is going to, how they're going to convert higher, whether it's they get their very first upfront fee as a discount, or if it's a settlement fee.
I think the discount on the first fee would be the way to go, probably, but certainly A/B test it.
The only reason I ask is because if there are less people that convert from the $100 product to the $900 product, then you want to save your margin, collect all the margin on the front product, and then give some margin on the back end product. But if so many people are converting over, then giving the discount up here to get them into settlement could be the key.
Well, the payment for the first product feels a little bit more real for the customer because they have to pay upfront and then we file it for them. Payment on the settlement feels kind of free to the customer because they pay at the end after there's a settlement, and they're actually just saving a bunch of money, right? Like they might be paying some amount to settle, but they're actually saving like $3,000.
Okay. So the pain for the customer is going to be upfront, less pain in the back end. So you don't need to discount the back end then.
Yeah, I think a discount upfront would be good. Yeah, we're interested in making it really compelling for influencers, especially off of that settlement piece. I mean, do you have any idea what are the top deals? Like what are the most interesting deals that are out there?
From an influencer standpoint, like what influencers want to take what deals?
Yeah, especially like financial.
Yeah, on the financial side, that's not where my mind went. But obviously, the higher margin products have the ability to pay out the highest commissions. So, the makeups and the hair products and they obviously have the much higher margins to be able to give a 50% off discount and still pay 25% commissions to the influencer. And they just take home the business takes home 25%, and that still makes them profitable. Now, I know most people don't have that. Like most products, you can't even attempt to do that. So in the financial markets, obviously there's an element of if there's any reoccurring commissions that can come from a single sign-on, that's really, really appealing. If I send you somebody from my audience and they sign up for your $25 a month product and I'm getting $5 a month in perpetuity, that can be extremely compelling over time. That adds up fast. So those are some things that people look at in the financial markets. If they are able to feel their ability to contribute to get that commission is more directly from them versus like the settlement, for example. If you pay them on a commission of the settlement, they have no control. They can't help it at all, right? And so they may feel less able to earn commission on their own efforts because it's on the back end. It's all based on all these different things that they have nothing to do with, although there's a lot more to pay out there. And so almost like, we give you X percent of this upfront piece, but then a much larger percent of this back end piece could be also an option. So that maybe they get a flat rate of like, hey, anybody that signs up and goes through our very first thing, you're getting $20 for the very first thing. And on the back end, if they go through the full settlement and the average is $900, we're going to give you an extra $100 commission. So that way they can feel like their efforts can be proportionately compensated. And then just to be blunt, like influencers nowadays want to get sponsored because there's no risk to them whatsoever. And I'm a big proponent of startups not paying sponsorship fees. Now you're going to have to say no then to most influencers because most want sponsorship fees. And you have to think about it in the mind of the influencer. They don't know Solosuit. They don't know if you can convert. They don't know if your website's going to be good for their customer. They don't know those things. So by paying them a sponsorship fee, they're able to they get paid no matter what. Now, obviously as a startup, you don't want to take that risk because there will be some who convert like crazy, but there's going to be a lot who don't. And I would suggest it's a 90-10 rule that you're going to try 100 influencers and 10% of that 10% are going to crush it for you. And obviously you'll then want to double down and create real solid relationships with those 10% and continue to test more to find those 10 percenters. But that's like, unfortunately, that's kind of the mentality in the affiliate world. It really is kind of a 90-10 model, maybe 80-20, but I would suggest 90-10. And so, don't give up if you've only tested it with 20 people. Here's one caveat. If there is the primo, absolutely guaranteed influencer that is the perfect person for you to work with, then paying a sponsorship, you can do it. It's like a celebrity endorsement kind of a thing where that perfect person that you've been targeting for however long, then you take it out of the marketing budget and you pay them a sponsorship fee, because there's a potential that you would have had to pay them more in commission than if it's just sponsorship. But if you were to track it all and give if you can show this influencer, hey, we paid you whatever, 20 grand in a sponsorship, you would have gotten paid 50 grand in commissions. On the next time we work together, would you prefer the commissions? If you can track it, right? And how I would track it is unique links and promo codes. Those are the simple, ways to do it. I would have both. Don't just do one or the other, because links do break within, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. And so having a promo code where people can type in Bubba for $50 off their first thing, or 20% off that's how you track it. And then I would suggest that you'd want to use a platform to track all these pieces. Have you used one yet?
We use impact.com right now.
How is it? How is it working for you?
It's pretty good. Do you have something that you recommend or something that you like?
Grin is massive. And can I tell you how much better it is than Impact? I don't know. I've just worked with them in the past and they have a great program, but they're really expensive. I wish that they would bring their pricing down, because I don't know how much better they are, if it's worth paying their premium than what you're paying.
Interesting.
Impact collaborates another one too. But if you've already got a system, don't change it. Just keep using the system that you're using. That'll be more efficient anyway. And as you test these models, just like your A/B testing, you'll be testing with these influencers. You'll also test messaging. If I were to suggest some advice, is that I would create a folder of all the assets that these influencers could use. Images, videos, contact, copy, testimonials, things that you can give them. And if they only have to copy and paste or take essentially you're trying to make their life easier. You want them to not have to work as hard, which means they'll do it more or they'll do it faster. And so creating some kind of a folder for these influencers is very easy for them to understand and how they can reuse in addition to their own content.
There's usually a lot of content as far as like creative assets with the best brands that you work with.
Yeah, you want to have a folder that's got a plethora of information that people can use. Because if you think about it, my audience may be different than so-and-so's audience. And so you may have a testimonial that strikes perfectly for me to share, but the others don't. And now, don't wait to do it just because you're trying to create more content. Get started moving forward, but I would continually add content, copy that you're using, marketing lingo. If you're A/B testing a website and one converts better, change it so that it's that better converting copy or image or video or whatnot. If you're testing ads and you've got certain ads that are just killing it, tell your influencers this ad is working really well. Or if you have an influencer that's crushing it, you take their example and say, hey, here's something that's been really successful. Because the influencer just wants to be as successful as possible. And so the more information you can give to that influencer, the better to drive success, because they're obviously in it with you. They want that success along with you. So finding people that, number one, obviously believe in your product and believe that they can really help people, that's going to be number one, because that passion and authenticity is guaranteed. That's what is the best seller. People who do stuff just for money just doesn't come across the same way. Find the passionate people who want to help and they see the vision of what you're doing. I would also suggest, sorry, this is tangent time, right? Again, if there is that ultimate person or persons that you really, really want to work with, consider carving out some equity pool. Because if you look at converting equity because of promotion, because of influence, you can have a lifelong partner that will want to talk about it forever because they're an investor, they're an owner. That can be dramatically impactful on your business moving forward. It doesn't have to be 5% or 10% of your business that you're giving away to a single person, unless it's that important of a person, right? I mean, if you can get somebody that converts over $1 million in sales, that may be worth it, right? But at least be open to the concept that having some equity, some ownership available for your best people, that can be really advantageous.
Have you seen like a earn equity model there kind of work? Like an influencer can earn equity as they actually make sales?
Yeah. So we did that with Gab Wireless personally. I wrote a check as an angel investor, $25K check in as an angel investor. And then I asked them, I said, look, we love your product. We want to promote the product to our audience. We think it's fantastic. We're super passionate about it. Safe tech for kids. We were able to convert, we sold enough product to earn 50 grand in commission. That 50 grand in commission commission, we were able to have them convert into seed stage equity.
Nice. Like basically it's dollar for dollar.
Dollar for dollar, translated right. And so obviously it was a win for us because we got a diversification of an asset into that. We didn't need the cash at the time. And so we used that as a diversification for our own personal basis. The company got to keep that 50 grand in what would have been an affiliate commission. They got to keep it to use for their own marketing efforts. And they got a bunch of new customers, tons more customers. So that to me is the ultimate win-win-win. The only problem is you have to have an entrepreneurially minded influencer who gets what equity means. Why is equity valuable? And why is ownership in a business helpful to them, not getting the cash? And luckily that investment, we're close to 20x right now, right? That's a big deal. And they're still on a tear. Like that's going to continue growing and could be even greater than that. First, I'm an entrepreneur and an investor, and then an influencer later, right? Anyway, hopefully I can help to educate in a video like this. I hope to educate more influencers on knowing the value of getting equity in a business like yours. If they don't need the cash to live on, and hopefully they're living below their means so that they can have some diversification in their investment portfolio like this.
Most personal wealth is a result of business ownership of some kind.
Absolutely. No question. I'm interested to do a follow-up. I'd love to kind of dive in a little deeper as well. I appreciate it being willing to be on video. I know sometimes that's scary, but this is a very interesting product. I think a lot of people could really use it. Anyway, let's definitely do a follow-up on this. Okay, George?
That sounds great.